Hey everyone, how's it going? So, my audio quality in the previous stream wasn't as good, and I want to re upload because I think there may have been some difficulty hearing me. So, my last video, which is basically going to be similar, right? We're going to do some instant action into the Steiner campaign. And why are we going to be doing that? Well, hold on, let me abort this real quick because I don't know what is this. Slicer, here you go. Yes, so the Hero Steiner campaign stopped the launch part 3. So I have noticed throughout the community a lot of people are having difficulties with this. A lot of people are having issues with this mission. And there's a reason for this because this mission is not set up to support an assault lance. If you bring an assault lance to this mission that doesn't have really good AI with ER lasers or PPCs, and you're not running a fast mech to draw fire, you're gonna have a bad day. I would even go so far as to recommend you bring the Hero Archer swapped out with like EW countermeasures or something fast moving like a fire starter that has good armor that can just draw fire while your lance mates sit in like awesomes or potentially king crabs or something like that. Look, if you bring a king crab to this with high tier weapons, you're going to get arms blown off. If you bring an Atlas to this mission, forget it. You bring an Annihilator to this mission, still ain't going to help. You're just going to get surrounded by ballistic weapons that really, it's hard to dodge. Missiles you can kind of dodge. Even PPCs thrown out by the AI, it's not that great. But let me show you what I'm talking about. This is how you beat this imp. As soon as Rihanna gets done talking.
Dealing with limited visibility and compromised sensors on this mission.
So here's why I bring the light mechs, particularly the Hero Locust, the pretty baby, right? So Guardian ECM, 2 machine guns, great for knocking down walls, and it's fast, 153 kph, basically 154 kph, right? Ridiculously fast. So typically I take the double heat sink out of it, but you can actually run with flamers. They're not that great though because you can't really aim them. And let me show you what I mean. Because by this point in the game, you should have a pretty high evasion skill, like 8 out of 10, or maybe 10 out of 10 if you just cheese a lot of the demolition missions. Because I don't bother bringing an assault lance to demolition mission ever. I always go run with like a fire starter or something else. So just forget going to the right. Go to the left first.
Intel also indicates that there is a remote detonation device somewhere in the complex nearby. Its exact location is unknown, and since we're under a time pressure, it's been suggested to just level the place altogether.
Run this thing over. So, particularly with missions like this, like the, raid missions, demolition missions where you're only targeting things, right? Destroy the tower, right? That's all you gotta do. We're done. Just move on. Forget the rest of this stuff. Juke it. Torso twist if you have to. Shoot the wall down. Run into the base. Right? The objective's on the left here. Shoot the tower down. You're done. Shoot that water tower, whatever that thing is. Shoot that down. Now we've created some space between us and the enemy. Right? Shoot that tower, run to the next objective, twist if you have to. Right, so all the enemies are basically getting a hit penalty, so they're not going to get direct fire on you too easy. They're going to miss a lot. Get your next tower, make a U-turn immediately. Juke for a little bit, twist around. By this time, you probably have 20 VTOLs chasing you. It's really difficult. You might lose a leg. Just keep running. Just keep running. Go up into this canyon area here. Okay. Run around in the rocks if you can. Try to create some separation. Okay, the tank's not chasing us. Line of sight the tank. Don't worry about the 1 or 2 helicopters that are going to get you.
Sans may not be able to launch the nuke, but he's still a major
Get the
threat
turret.
as long as it's in his possession.
Sometimes there's a tank over here as well. Torso twist. You can lose an arm on this hero mech. You don't have to worry about losing anything. It's basically an arm. There's no components stacked on the arms in this thing. Right? So that's that, folks. That's the end of the mission. And what was that? 4 minutes? 5 minutes? And that's it. So here's the key. If you want to verify that I actually played this mission and this isn't some sort of, glitch, but I mean, that's just the custom scenario anyways, so. But this is, this is not a modded game. You can copy and paste this key and get a, custom scenario, so. Exit instant action. That's my handle, Stumpy Boy. So, if I continue my single player campaign, you can pretty much see that I've already gone through this mission because I don't even have this mission on my list of objectives.
Our target is a number of buildings somewhere on this world. General locations
Right,
have been
so-
added to your map. I will update you once we have eyes on the objective.
Destroy targets. This is another one of the missions that I was playing. But similar, right? So this is just to destroy targets at all locations, right? Dun, dun, dun. So you can see the ranges have changed on the machine gun and small lasers, so I've got the upgraded. Steiner Hero Locust I was able to find during the campaign.
Targeted asset. Move up to it, and we'll begin the recovery procedure.
No, it's a trap.
That's close enough. Ready to start pickup operation.
I forget what scenario this is even. I think this is like a campaign mission or something. So what are we doing here? We're basically destroying easy, destroy the radar towers.
Scratch that target off the list.
On to the next one. Don't get too much fire. I don't even really have to worry about. In similar, so this mission is probably going to be a little bit harder because I have more targets to destroy. But I mean, the concept is similar, right? So I destroy a wall, I run through here, I run through the base. I'm targeting the objectives. I'm not doing anything else. Alright, and now where's my next objective, right? So now I need to pull north here. So I'm using the terrain to my advantage. I can kind of shoot helicopters down as I'm running up underneath of them. Alright, I can sacrifice my arm. I don't need my arms. So don't just take hits in the back. So I've managed to outrange most of these guys. With upgraded lasers, turrets, and vehicles are pretty much one shot.
Find the acquisition. Just walk up to it in order to.
I've even got time to try to collect salvage.
Package acquired.
Alright. This is where I've got to be careful. I don't want to just run head on into these things. AC2s are not bad, but still, I need all the armor I can get. Alright, so that's one. Run over the tanks if you can. It's quicker. That's two. That's my turrets. Having trouble. Oh, there it is. Okay. There's my objective right there. Shoot it on the roof. It's done. Now all I gotta do
Coming in right on top of you.
is evade the enemy and go to the dropship. So my weak armor, my back armor is a little weak.
To the mortar location.
So I'm gonna turn, and that little white dotted line there, that's where I'm facing. So when I'm not running into rocks like a dumbass, sometimes you gotta do this, you just kind of fly blind. Lost my arm, that's okay. I haven't lost any components. I'd rather repair the arm to give myself enough space if I wasn't running into rocks. And I made it.
Approach, Commander. Prepare for extraction.
And that's another scenario where I've got a bunch of VTOLs chasing me. So that's 2 missions, right? So this is not an easy peasy mission, right? This was, I think the difficulty on this one was like 90 or something. And it's easy salvage, so I get, you know, upgraded machine gun and laser, I'll take it all day. Give me my lasers. Damage cost 54,000. Oh my goodness, but payout 5 million. So you know, this is very profitable doing it this way. So here I am in this zone. So 13 to 14. So you know you've got other, let's say, beachhead. So if I travel here. Just so you can do this with some of the upper tier difficulty. I'm pretty sure you could get away with this at a difficulty 100. Like the hardest difficulty, you could get away with this. 96, 91, really wouldn't matter. Now I would not do this, I would not play it this way with the beachhead or warzone contract. If I was gonna do, let's say, a beachhead contract, I would be bringing like a setup like this, like a Spyder or probably a fire starter. This kind of lance where I've got ballistics, missiles, and ballistics, right? Dual gauze, AC-20s, UAC-5s. They make quick work. The lasers and the missiles make quick work. So do the UAC-5s. And the PPCs on this Corsair, or basically any, you know, you could even bring an Archer, or you could bring the Hero Orion, or even just, you know, an AWS 8Q will do it because the AI will triple PPC that stuff out of the sky all day. Another unit you could run with as like a demolition or raid unit. This one's pretty fast too, maximum speed 129 kph. And as we've seen, losing the leg, you can still complete missions. But this one has jump jets and AMS and flamers and machine guns. So flamers and machine guns, perfect for demolition, where you have a lot of missiles, but you can also jump jet your way around the ballistics and over walls to create space between you and the enemy. You just got to be careful about how you manage your jump jets. The problem with bringing king crabs to a mission like the Stop to Launch Part 3 is, okay, yeah, you've got the firepower, right? I mean, 79.4, 86.2, you know, and so forth. But there's a problem with that, inherent problem with that. Even something like bringing Hero Archer with firepower 80, you know, or you know, any of the higher tier things. I would not bring a dragon. That's literally the worst unit in the game, in my opinion. Even with the mask or the supercharger, it's crap. You can bring K2, K2, and with the last unit, like the rear line support with AI, it will stay out of the line of fire for the most part. If you lack tonnage or you don't maybe have, you know, just 3 awesomes. The Battlemaster at your disposal, that's another really good combo, is because the Battlemaster is fast enough at 64 kph to kind of draw the enemy's fire. It's a short range brawler, the way I build it. And then you know, stack up 3 awesomes. You don't need king crabs, you don't need atlases, you don't need you know, heavy units that pretty much always get their arms blown off, especially if they're the AI, and carry around high tier components. Pretty much, I would say in a mission like that, the worst thing you could do is pilot an Atlas, because you're just going to get hit in the face with ballistics nonstop. And unless you bring one of the more energy-based Atlas units or Annihilators or King Crabs, this I have found pretty effective, the KGC car. But you get this after the Steiner missions. That's the thing. So it's kind of chicken before the egg. You can't bring this to the Steiner missions, but this King Crab is really good because I will typically run 2 heavy rifles and 2 UACs, or 3, you know, high tier. I've got tier 5, 2 UAC tier 5 missions because I max the salvage on the end mission. You get a lot of UACs from that. High tier LRM-15. That thing destroys pretty much any mech in almost one shot most of the time. 2 heavy rifles, that's 100 damage alpha strike. I mean, unless you're running something like a bad place shot on an Atlas or a King Crab or some other unit that's got more than 100 armor. In the middle, you like an awesome, that's not going to be more than one shot. But again, speed. With those VTOL units, you get quickly surrounded. They just manifest out of nowhere. If you're in a King Crab, you're slow. You're going to get your arms blown off. You're going to get your rear armor blown off. You're going to take a lot of hits to the face. And if you get, let's say you get separated from your Lance, right, and they get distracted with a mech, well, now you've got an Assault Mech, which there are many. Whereas I think there's at least 3 or 4 in that Steiner Stop the Launch Part 3. There's those 3 or 4 Assault Mechs. So if you get stuck engaging an Assault Mech, right, with the, okay, it's a 400-ton mission, bring 400 tons. As you've seen, I've completed with 20 tons. But if you get stuck in that kind of scenario, all you're going to do is just run up a repair bill. And at this point in the game, it's not like you've got, even as far as I progressed in the game, I have really rarely come across components that I can just, put in my mechs that just lay around at the higher tiers, right? So I mean, I've got higher tier SRM, streak SRM2s, SRM5s, large burst lasers, SRM4s, high tier PPCs I kind of struggle with for some reason. LBX slugs, just don't really see a whole lot of high tier weapons for the most part. Where I've seen most of the salvage come from is the multiple mission operations. I don't like those, but with the setup I have now, I'm going to be running more of those to try to get higher tier salvage and progress the campaign a little bit further. But yeah, I mean, and the nice thing about fire starters, for that mission, if you were going to bring an Assault Lance, run a fire starter. It's fast enough to distract, but there's 2 variants of the hero fire starter. Either of these, this one has jump jets. This one, you can bring jump jets, but this one's a little bit different. The difference between the FS9-FS and the FS9E, let me show you the difference between that one. Look at the loadout, is the placement of the flamers. So the machine guns are sitting in the torso, the flamers in the right and left arm, which this one particularly, the E variant, it's really good because you're getting a lot better hits off with the flamers versus the FS, right? You've got the right torso, center torso energy slots. Kind of hard to get placement on flamers with those. I mainly run small lasers, but your machine guns are in the right and left arms. Dim emissions constantly get blown off. Flamers, the height, I don't see a whole lot of difference. It could just be me, or maybe it's just the variance of the way the flamers work between like even tier 5 flamers and just regular tier flamers. Anyways, you want to save your high tier machine guns, which is why the E variant, I believe, in my opinion, is superior to the FS variant, simply because of the placement of the flamers. You can actually aim them where you're shooting. Well, that's it for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to be uploading this to YouTube, just kind of as a guide and example of what these light mechs can do. Don't underestimate the power of light mechs, especially hero units. Hero units, particularly the Spyder, I mean, this thing flies to the air. I mean, I have not been in a situation I could not get out of in a Spyder with AMS and jump jets, no matter what the situation was, unless I was just dumb and ran face first into an Assault Mech where I wasn't looking, and then they clip my leg and then I'm dead. But I mean, other than that, yeah. So save your King Crabs and your Atlases. Don't bring those. And again, this is if you are absolutely dead set on, and you're like, oh well, mercenary scum, I don't have a hero Locust, or I don't have a hero Spyder, and all I have is a fire starter, then bring your fire starter and bring a setup like this. Right, so change out the Beagle active probe with EW countermeasure. Right. So change it out like that. Take the hit with, just put an AI in this and bring an active probe so you get some hit penalty. So put this guy in the back, put these 2 in the front, run the fire starter King Crab, or maybe even like Atlas King Crab or Atlas Awesome Archer, something that has range. The AS-7D just bring base tier weapons because they're going to almost always focus on Annihilator or Atlas, unless you're running a mech like this and you're going to draw other fire. Whereas let's say, you could even bring a setup like this, right? Archer, that long range weapons. All right, long range weapons will be able to hit all the units out of the sky. This one in particular is really good. If you can get it, or you don't have the tonnage. Slow units, even a Corsair, like we could go with this too, right? Dual Gauss, AS-7D. My personal favorite is to put an AI like this. This is the way I like running this. So Dual Gauss in the back, PPC, King Crab. This is the combo I would bring if you can afford the mechs. If you don't have these mechs, and again, you don't need them, another way you could run this is you can actually put the Battle Master. All right, so we could run Battle Master and 3 Awesomes. Why 3 Awesomes? Because the armor that they carry in their center torso is amazing. Right? I mean, even in Atlas, right? So let's look at the comparison for Atlas real quick. Where did I put Atlas? There it is. 124. So I mean, and even in most scenarios with an Atlas, you're going to be running maybe what? 20 armor in the back and 100 in the front. Very rarely you're going to put all 124 up front. Whereas with an Awesome, doesn't cost that much. You can get them very early on. Both weapons are in the center torso, and you get, what, 1582? Total 100? You could even go something like 1090. Right? And we could drop armor on the legs, easy, to make the tonnage. So there you go. Fit them with double heat sinks. I mean, they don't even need that. You could do single heat sinks and still run really good. Small laser, don't underestimate small lasers. Personally, if I've piloted an Awesome, and I did that on one mission in particularly, I actually went with 3 ER large lasers and a bunch of double heat sinks, and I was able to snipe most units across the map. But I forget which one it was. I think it was the Rifleman Hero. Yeah, it was the Rifleman Hero Mission, where you got the Hero Rifleman. And the problem with that mission is I did not have a whole lot of long-range weapons on me at the time. And I just basically outfitted an Awesome 3 ER lasers and was able to pretty much snipe all the units that were pummeling me from the side and the rear as I was trying to cross over to the city, so I can take on all those units. Because early on, you don't really have the tonnage to just sit there and brawl with them across the map. And at that point, I maybe had the Hero Archer. I think I was in a Battle Master. I had maybe 1 Assault Mech, and then an Archer, and I think a Rifleman. No, it wasn't a Rifleman. It was the Marauder. So, yeah, Hero Rifleman. Actually, I need to sell this one. I was wanting to mess around with Jaeger Mech. All right, folks. Take care.